New at noon, the ex-partner of a missing Minnesota woman is now facing tentative charges for her death. Plus, air quality issues continue to cause health concerns in the Northeast. This is News 3 Now at noon. Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. New at noon, Minnesota police have arrested a man suspected of killing Madeline Kingsbury, who had been missing for more than 2 months. 29-year-old Adam Ravel was Kingsbury's ex-partner and the father of her 2 children. He was arrested yesterday on suspicion of murder after authorities found human remains. Kingsbury has been missing since March 31st. She was last seen dropping her children off at daycare. Winona police are planning a news conference for later this afternoon. Let's head out to the weather patio now. Meteorologist Kelly Slifka has a look at her first warm forecast. Chilly start to the day, but it's warming up nicely.
Yeah, the air is very dry out here at the noon hour, so the temperatures are allowed to warm up quickly. But as you mentioned, it started off very chilly this morning. In fact, we had some 30s up there in Camp Douglas, 35, 37 in Black River Falls. We got down to 46, but there were some areas around Dane County that got into the lower 40s overnight. It was a little bit milder to the southwest. Platteville got down to 50 overnight last night. We do have the sunshine, but the drought conditions continue to worsen. This was updated this morning. In fact, we have a moderate drought now in Madison, much of southern Wisconsin. That abnormally dry conditions has expanded all that yellow, while now we're in the brown, which means the drought continues to worsen. I don't see it getting a whole lot better over the coming days, even though we are expecting some rain for the weekend. Right now, our visible cloud track showing clear skies. Actually, the sky is quite blue. We're not seeing a lot of that smoke here, at least across the Badger State for now. The thicker smoke has moved off to the west, being pushed along that front. Right now, 72, not a bad noon hour, 72 in Janesville, 70 right now in Mineral Point, 72 in Lone Rock. So looking at sunshine the next few days, that's going to carry us at least in the first half of the weekend. As we go into the next couple of days, we're going to see warmer temperatures looking at mid-80s by Saturday before some storms develop late Saturday. And this looks like to be a slow-moving system that will bring us some cooler weather by the end of the weekend and early next week. So temperatures continue to climb. We'll be in the mid-70s later today. If you are headed out this evening, it will cool off fairly quickly through the 60s. So after dark, you'll probably need at least a light jacket. But nice and mild for now. Temperatures headed into the mid-70s with a northeast wind less than 10 miles per hour. Talk about some cool temperatures tonight and that chance of rain for the weekend and how much we can expect coming up in about 15 minutes.
All right, we'll check back with you, Kelly. Thank you. Hazardous air is still affecting tens of millions of Americans. The dangerous haze and smog is fueled by hundreds of wildfires in Canada, many burning out of control. Lilia Luciano has the story from New York.
A heavy layer of smoke covered New York City in a dark orange glow Wednesday. More than a dozen states faced air quality alerts, with the haze obscuring the Statue of Liberty as well as downtown Philadelphia and historic landmarks in the nation's capital.
All New Yorkers should limit outdoor activity to the greatest extent possible.
In New York, Mayor Eric Adams said the air quality was at its worst since the 1960s. On Broadway, the conditions prompted 2 musicals to cancel their shows. The New York Liberty postponed its WNBA game, and the Yankees rescheduled their matchup with the Chicago White Sox, turning away some fans at the stadium.
Definitely for the air quality, it should be the right decisions.
It all comes after an unusually early and intense start to Canada's wildfire season. More than 400 wildfires are burning across the country, over half of them still out of control.
This is a visceral reminder of the climate crisis that's in front of us all.
Vijay LeMay is a senior scientist with the National Resources Defense Council. He warned that as climate change makes the weather more extreme, the public health risks grow. In this case, he pointed to elevated levels of PM 2.5, toxic microscopic particles that are carried by the wildfire smoke.
We have never seen over the past 2 decades PM 2.5 levels like they are in New York City. We're seeing air quality levels that are 3 to 5 times higher than that national limit.
And officials here say the air quality index hit a high of 484 yesterday as New York City recorded the worst air quality of any major city in the world. Now to France, where police are investigating a stabbing attack at a playground that left 2 children and 1 adult seriously injured. Officials say a man went on a stabbing spree, targeting 4 small children and 2 adults before being tackled and taken into custody. Victims range in age as young as 1-year-old, and 3 remain in critical condition. Police say the suspect is a Syrian refugee with a legal status and was not known to security agencies. When the news broke, the French president stopped the national debate and held a minute of silence. Investigators are now trying to determine a motive for the attack. Religious broadcaster Pat Robertson, that is, who helped make religion central to GOP politics, has passed away at the age of 93. Robertson turned a tiny Virginia television station into the far-reaching Christian broadcasting network, where he hosted the flagship 700 Club show for half a century. He ran for president as a Republican in 1988, and from that experience founded the Christian Coalition, which helped cement the Republican Party's alliance with evangelical voters. In a surprise ruling and a big win for supporters of voting rights, the Supreme Court has ordered Alabama to redraw its voting maps. In a 5-4 majority, the High Court justices decided the state's congressional maps did likely discriminate against black voters. Alabama officials must redraw the maps to allow an additional black majority district because the state is 27% black. The decision will give more opportunities for minority voters to elect the candidates of their choice. Well, we're halfway through Madison Bike Week, with events scheduled each day to highlight the bike-friendly city we live in. Madison is considered a top biking city here in the U.S. All week you can find group rides, mobile repair shops, and even lectures about e-bikes and how to choose the right bicycle. Mayor Sacha Rose Conway says Madison is just one of 5 American cities to be recognized with a Platinum Bicycle Communities designation. That means cyclists in town have plenty of routes to explore.
We have 85 miles of off-street paths and protected bikeways, and more than 157 miles of bike lanes and bike boulevards. That's the backbone of our infrastructure, and it's growing all the time.
If you're looking for ways to celebrate, check out the free Bikes for Kids workshop and tailgate party along the Capital City Trail. It's a free event running from 3 to 6 this afternoon. Well, there are more than 125 cheese factories in Wisconsin producing some 600 different specialty cheeses. But there's only one producing Limburger cheese. The Chalet Cheese Cooperative near Monroe is, in fact, the only cheese factory in the entire country producing the aromatic cheese. Limburger starts out like any other cheese. It's not until what master cheesemaker Jamie Farney calls a magic sauce is rubbed all over the cheese. It's literally the same bacterial cultures they started with back in 1885.
There's other companies that have the same bacteria, but they're more of like the European smear, where it's the dirty socks note. Ours is not like that anymore. Ours is more of a sweet note.
Well, the proof is in the Limburger, I guess. Some people love it, others hate it. There doesn't seem to be much middle ground when it comes to Limburger cheese. We'll give it a taste test coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6. Yum. Well, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Argentine soccer great Lionel Messi is taking his talents to the U.S. Details coming up in the Money Watch Report.
You're watching News 3 Now at noon.
Huge news in the world of soccer. Superstar Lionel Messi is signing with the Major League Soccer team Inter Miami. That club is co-owned by retired soccer star David Beckham, and there's speculation an opportunity for Messi to eventually co-own his own franchise was part of the deal. And if you're headed near Joshua Tree in California this week, you may want to plan a detour to one of the cheesiest destinations in America. The Cheez-It stop features a store stocked full of the famous cheese crackers and other merchandise, while the pumps outside propel bags of Cheez-Its right into your car through the window. The stop is only open now through Sunday. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Chanel Call.
Check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up 115 points. The NASDAQ up 105. The S&P 500 gaining 25 points. Next at noon, Pam has today's egg prices. Kelly's back with the latest forecast. And then today on Live at 4, we'll meet a one-of-a-kind one-man band from Beloit in our Traveler Throwback Thursday. He has a sound all his own. Let's check in now with Pam Yankee from the Midwest Farm Report on this lovely Thursday.
It is lovely. It is lovely. It is still dry, though, and that's where I want to go to right away, Mark. Tomorrow there's going to be a big conversation involving anybody that wants to discuss the flash drought, as they're calling it. We're sure hoping it's not going to last for very long, but right now there's a lot of farmers and agribusinesses that are concerned about it. Tomorrow from 9 a.m. till 10 a.m., the University Extension staff, folks from the U.S. Department of Agriculture, also a lot of our meteorologists are all going to be online presenting just quick information on resources that farmers and agribusinesses need to know is available when it comes to this flash drought. And if it continues, what is your game plan? I know that dairy farmers are already starting to think about feed supplies. Am I going to have to purchase? So all of this is going to be discussed in a very short form, 9 until 10 tomorrow. You can get connected and make sure that you've got the right webinar link. Go to Badger Crop Connect and be ready for that, 9 until 10 tomorrow. That's what we're looking forward to. The other thing we're not looking forward to is a story that we're following. Received word through social media and some folks contacting me directly that some dairy farms in western Wisconsin are being asked to dump their milk. It focuses on a creamery in Minnesota. Hastings Creamery in Hastings, Minnesota has temporarily shut down for, well, we hope it's temporary. They're shut down for 30 days. That's impacting 45 dairy farms, some in Wisconsin, some in western Minnesota, that are either going to have to find another home for their milk or dump their milk, and that's where the concern is. Right now, there are no other milk processors even vaguely interested in picking up more milk, even if it's for free, according to dairy industry leaders. So again, like I said, I don't want to be the first one to cry wolf, but I do want to make sure that our dairy producers are aware of this situation and having very open conversations with their milk haulers, their dairy processors, their fieldmen, everybody. Make sure you know where your milk is going and what that situation is on your end. Soft day today in dairy trade. Barrel cheese down 8 1/4 at $1.57. 40-pound block cheese down a nickel at $1.47 1/4. AA butter up a penny at $2.37 a pound. I know that makes it sound like it's tough to celebrate June Dairy Month. It's really not. Tomorrow, Mark, you and I will talk through all the fun elements coming up Saturday for the Dane County Breakfast on the Farm, just south of Madison, outside of the community of Verona. So we'll put a spin on it for Friday. How about that?
Nice and close.
Yeah.
All right, Pam, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Sounds good. Yep.
A warning for parents as we approach summer. Nearly 400 children die every year from drowning in pools and spas. Michael George speaks with one mother fighting to prevent more tragedies.
Shazak Sonoda went through a heartbreak no mother should experience.
He was just full of joy and energy.
In 2018, her 3-year-old son Yori drowned in a backyard pool.
When you lose a child this way, it's incredibly painful and challenging to talk about. Oftentimes, at least in my case, there was something that I could have done to save my child, and it just didn't end up working out that way.
Sonoda founded No More Under, a nonprofit dedicated to preventing child drowning deaths. A new government report finds an average of 371 children drown every year in pools and spas.
Are many of these tragedies preventable?
Drownings are 100% preventable.
Sonoda says parents need to learn CPR and make sure they and their children know how to swim. Also, prepare before going to the pool.
Know if there's lifeguards, take a life jacket. Do they have life jackets?
Alex Hohenserek, chair of the Consumer Product Safety Commission, warns parents to keep their eyes on their kids.
We like to say have a designated water watcher. It's an adult who is focused on the kids, not reading a book or looking at the phone.
A little preparation can make sure every child has a safe summer. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
And let's get a look now at your certified most accurate forecast. Kelly Sliff is back out on the weather patio.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful noon hour. The temperatures have really warmed up quickly, and we've got plenty of sunshine. And noticing the sky's quite a bit bluer than we've had over the last several days. Simply, we don't have a whole lot of smoke up there, so that is some good news, at least for now. Looking into the weekend, I know I am. It looks like the best day of the weekend is going to be Saturday, so if you have your pick to do some outdoor activities, most of the day Saturday will be dry. It's going to be warm. We'll look at partly sunny skies. I think the thunderstorm chances will hold off until the evening hours. And then Sunday, we're going to flip the script here as some cooler air works in, and it looks like a steady light rain throughout the day, and temperatures quite a bit cooler, only getting into the upper 60s. Some much needed rain. You know, I tell you what, it's just been very dry, and you can obviously notice it with the parched lawns, everything's starting to turn a little bit brown. But that's because the relative humidity is so low. It's anywhere between 20 and 30%, and it's just sucking the moisture right out of the ground, and that is not good news, obviously, for the farmers and people that are trying to garden. And in fact, the drought monitor came out this morning, and it has expanded the drought. The abnormally dry conditions in yellow have expanded, and now in Madison, we are under a moderate risk of, or moderate drought here in southern Wisconsin. Now, we don't see a whole lot of changes with that. We do have some of that rain coming in this weekend, but it's not going to be enough to alleviate our drought. In fact, taking a look out into the 6 to 10 day outlook, still have that target of drier than average conditions expected across much of the Great Lakes states, while the west will be wet. So looking at sunshine the next several days right into the first half of the weekend. It will be warming from the 70s today into the mid 80s by Saturday. And we will look at a chance of some late day showers and thunderstorms. It looks like mainly Saturday evening into the overnight. And then as the storm system tracks to our south, that puts us on the cool, rainy side of it. And we'll have a stiff east wind on Sunday. Sunday not looking great. High pressure building in from Canada. That's what's supplying all that dry air across much of the Great Lakes states. Most of the smoke has been suppressed off to the west, a little bit closer to that front. So as we look at our smoke tracker, most of it, you see that band of yellow is off to the west. We're under the blue, maybe a little bit of smoke in the upper levels of the atmosphere, but not near the surface. You're seeing the thicker smoke off to the east across parts of Michigan. That pretty much stays out there, so we're not expecting that smoke to be a big problem around here. Definitely not compared to what they're seeing out east. Right now, we're sitting at 72 in Janesville, so we warmed up quickly from the 40s we started off with this morning. 71 across the area up in Sun Prairie, so it's a nice mild noon hour across all of Dane County. Looking at temperatures to climb in the mid 70s today. We'll look at sunshine throughout the afternoon hours, but if you are headed out after dark, you might need a light jacket as we fall into the 60s after dark. Looking out ahead to Saturday, the shower and thunderstorm chances develop up to our north. That will be sinking down in the south during the evening hours, and then Sunday morning, late waking up to some cloudy, cool rains, and that east wind will make it feel cooler. Some much-needed rain, though. I know it's coming in during the weekend, but we're talking about maybe picking upwards of 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch of rain, maybe even 3/4 of an inch of rain when all is said and done later in the day on Sunday. First warm forecast, 75 today, up to 82 tomorrow. Starting off chilly, but will warm up quickly. 84 Saturday with the chances of showers and thunderstorms in the evening. A cool rain at that on Sunday. Right now, it looks like this storm system is going to get hung up over the Great Lakes and keep us on the breezy, cool side with more showers expected by Monday before warming up by the middle of next week.
All right, looking good. Hopefully get some rain on Sunday.
If it's going to rain, it might as well rain a ton of it. You know?
That's right. Let's just let it come.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
We're a nation that loves bacon. As a matter of fact, we've got a new way for you to have your bacon, and I have a pretty good feeling you're going to love it. We're a nation that loves bacon. As a matter of fact, these days we can find bacon in everything from ice cream and donuts to Band-Aids and even lip balm. Can you imagine kissing those lips? To celebrate the divine swine, we've come up with a warm bacon dressing that'll add excitement to anything from a simple salad and cooked veggies to grilled chicken or fish. So let's get started. We begin by dicing a pound of bacon and cooking it until it's nice and crispy. As for the type of bacon, you can use just about anything, from whatever's on sale to hickory, applewood, peppered, or even maple glazed. Then we add some apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, a good amount of sugar, and black pepper. We let that simmer until the sugar dissolves, and it's ready to serve. And if you want the pieces of bacon a bit smaller, you can pour the whole thing into a blender and just give it a whirl. If you've never been a big fan of salads, just wait until you try this one. With its warm, smoky, sweet and sour dressing, it's a real game changer. To get the recipe for our warm bacon dressing, all you have to do is visit our website. I promise you'll be glad you did. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen with Kelly, where today we found a brilliant bacony way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Oh, it's time to introduce you to our pet of the week. This is Sully. Sully is an adult cat who who is among over 50 cats brought to the Humane Society from one household in Madison last month. She's shy at first, but she's working on her courage. Sully would benefit from being adopted with another cat from the group or finding a home that already has a social cat. She and her friends are looking for a patient, loving family who will give them the time they require to adjust to their new lives. The Humane Society waived the adoption fees for Sully and her friends in the hopes of finding them new homes soon. And last week's pet, Fritzy the cat and Barney the dog, featured 2 weeks ago, are still available for adoption. If you're interested in adopting Sully or checking out all the other animals at the Dane County Humane Society, go to giveshelter.org. And here's Kelly with one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, beautiful afternoon. We've got sunshine out there. Temperatures are going to be warming nicely. We're started out in the 40s, but we're headed into the mid-70s today. Pretty seasonable for this time of the year. With a dry air in place, it will cool off quickly this evening. After dark, you might need a light jacket or a sweatshirt. Warming up to 82 tomorrow, 84 most of the day, dry on Saturday. That chance of rain develops Saturday night. That'll continue into Sunday. And it looks like this storm system will be slow to move. Some rain expected for Sunday and Monday.
Okay, sounds good. We'll see you back here at 4.